across this particular video made by a Nigerian lady. She was furious. So one of the things she said is that Ghana is an English speaking country, but then why are Ghanaians communicating all the time with Twi language? There's another lady, I think she's from France. She was also seen complaining that Ghanaians has actually made communication very difficult. And why will you guys be speaking Twi to foreigners? And I got concerned because I don't really understand where they are going to. I'm going to show you guys the videos, even other videos of people urging Ghanaians that if you guys don't speak Twi, then you have yourselves to blame. But then again, the question I have to ask you now is that will you decide on the language people should speak in their country? At this point, are Nigerians not doing too much? Why are you blaming Ghanaians for speaking Twi? Like, they should only speak English and maybe speak Twi to only Ghanaians. I don't know. I want the comment section to be very interactive.
If you talk the one way not good now, they go come to your page, start to insult you. But me, I go talk Ghanaians. Ghana is an Anglophone country. Anglophone meaning English speaking. It is so funny to me till date that you see people in Ghana, they cannot articulate themselves, even in Accra, the capital of Ghana. They cannot not articulate themselves in one English in sentence. They can't speak any English, like one single English, they can't speak. All they know how to speak is Twi. Before you rush and come and start saying that, oh, English is not our language, we were colonized. French countries too were colonized. But it's very hard for you to go to a francophone country and see somebody who doesn't speak French. They all have their languages. Togo speaks Ewe, Benin have their language. Congo, Cameroon, they all have their language. Cote d'Ivoire, they all have their languages. But the general language there is French. The French is not their thing, no. They were also colonized by the French. That is why they are francophone country, French speaking. But you come to Ghana and you see someone that cannot speak one single English. It's bad though. It's bad. And it's not as if in the schools they are not teaching in English. They are teaching in English, but then you will see young people. The other day, a young boy of 14, 15 came to my door and he was saying something and I didn't hear one word in Twi. So I'm like, speak English. This boy looks at me so confused and walks off. 14, 15 that is in school. Anglophone, English speaking. Speak English.
Ghanaian people, please, with all due respect, I had a little question. Can I know the reason why you guys always love speaking your native language while you are with your foreigner friends around? As a French girl living in Ghana for so many years now, I think your country, because since I've been in this country, I've been doing great, thank you. But I was just wondering why this happened. Mostly when you go to the market, you go to the mall, even pharmacy, I mean, everywhere you go, people speak Twi. And even when you stop a taxi, they speak Twi, and you're like, oh my God, everybody living in this country are not Ghanaian. You guys have foreigners, people living in your country. And the worst things, even at church, we are preaching the word of God. But if you guys keep preaching Twi, how do you guys want us to understand you? And you go to the school, it's the same thing. You go to social media, it's the same thing. You see them everywhere talking Twi, saying Ipacho, you know, those kind of words. And let me tell you a little story. I have Ghanaian friends, and most time when we are together, they always speak their language. And I feel a little bit confused, and I'm like, oh, but you guys, you know I'm around you. Why you can't speak in your language? And do you know what they say? Oh, but you have to learn. You know, you are in our country, so you have to try your best to speak or understand our language. You know, I don't have to be forced to learn your language. I'm sorry to say, but if I'm going to the UK, America, India, or China, or whatever, they don't speak Twi there. They speak English, or they speak, I don't know, but this is your native language. I respect the fact that you love your native language so much, but I just want to know, if can you just moderate a little bit?
First, I was very, very angry when I got to Ghana and saw that everywhere in Ghana they spoke Twi. But after staying in Ghana for a while, it dawned on me, Ghanaians have a strategy. Anytime something bad happens in Ghana and they want to say it on the news, they say it mostly on the Twi speaking radio stations or the Twi speaking news stations. And honestly, I feel like 90% of Ghanaians can speak Twi. even if it's not the local dialect. So let's just say Ghanaians as a whole come together and agree that we should have one language that we all speak. Just imagine. We should all come together and have one language that we all speak in case of danger or we are in the midst of people that are not one of us. Even if we are not from the same village, we can all communicate. That is the height of intelligence.
Why is Twi one of the most common spoken languages in Ghana, and there are literally no apps that teach it? It is so frustrating to me because I love Pimsleur, but they only have 10 lessons and they're very, very basic. This is not a language that you are able to learn through an app. And I found something like that's been kind of helpful called Learn a Con, but it doesn't teach in the same way that the Pimsleur app does. And I really, really like how Pimsleur teaches. Is there anybody out there that knows of an app that can help with actually learning the language the way that Pimsleur teaches language?
Oh, Brase, no one come. Grown ass like you can't speak Twi. In this 2025, won't you Twi? Why? Tell me why. Aden, the minimum independence, and then we are celebrating independence, Ghana independence. Na yeah, the ne kusi he. Monkey Twi na you say we Ghana ni. Why? Kai Twi. Speak proper Twi. Ka ukrom kasa you say yes, we Ghana ni because sa brof nem fa munkosi baby. Why? Kai Twi. Then you say yes, we Ghana ni.
As for me, I cannot think that when you come to Nigeria, we most times speak English, right? I cannot think that a lot of Nigerians speak English language, but then again, you cannot compare yourself with people. People have a way they converse. People have a way they interact with people. You don't do you and do me. Let me, do you. I cannot think that if you think that these guys are speaking Twi too much to you, whenever you approach a Ghanaian and a person speaks Twi to you, converse to you in Twi language, respectfully tell the person, please, I don't understand Twi. This is a country that is proud of their language. I cannot think that if your country is working, this is how they are being trained. Let me give you guys an illogical illustration of what I'm saying, because most of the time I try to explain myself very well, right? In Lagos, Nigeria, Lagos is, I would say, Yoruba state, even though we have Igbos here doing businesses, living here, right? But then again, Lagos belongs to the Yorubas. Sometimes Yorubas they used to speak Yoruba to you. You can randomly want to buy something from the market, the person starts speaking Bawoni, Ekujome, like start speaking Yoruba to you. So sometimes I tell them, please, I'm not Yoruba. You know, maybe they think I'm Yoruba. I don't get angry, right? I don't get angry because they spoke their language to me. Because sometimes language is what improves you. Language is like your identity. Language is who you are. Language is part of your culture. Understand the fact that Igbos hardly speak Igbo language to their people, to their children, because we know, I don't know how to put it, but then you can hardly see Yorubas don't speak Yoruba to their Yoruba children. Yorubas, I love that for them. And we're even urging the Igbos to emulate this aspect from Yorubas and try to teach our children Igbo language more. Because most times, Mommy, I don't speak Igbo. My papa's type Igbo. That's what we hear. Like, you don't even know. So I cannot think that you don't decide for people. You don't tell me what you want me to speak for you. I'm going to use our 3 major ethnic groups to define this language thing. A lot of outsiders don't even know how to speak English. Only the few ones that are learned. And one of the jobs outsiders do in Nigeria, these guys, right, some of the jobs, my new jobs they do is they're into Okada riders, bike, riding tricycle. No, not tricycles, Okada. That is motorcycles, right? So whenever you hop into these things, and sometimes they tell you buy English. Buy English means no English, right? I'll be like, me, bow, sir. I'll just show you my money. We converse by me showing you money and telling you how much I'm going to pay you. It does not make them bad people. I wouldn't come out and say, don't speak outside to me, because then you don't want them to continue with the communication. I cannot think that, even though I wouldn't generalize this to Nigerians, but I know that it's only Nigerians that are always fond of coming online to criticize, say things about Ghana. But then again, you guys heard what the lady said. The other lady, I think she's from France or something like that. You know? But then again, if I say then again, I don't even know what to say right now. But then, if you're watching and you're Ghanaian, what are your genuine thoughts in the comment section? What do you think? Do you think Ghanaians should ignore Twi, ignore their Ghana language and all that, and focus more on speaking English. But for me, I think the reasons why they speak more of Twi is because they don't want to forget their language. English can be very, very dominating. Like if you start speaking English, most times you start seeing yourself struggle a lot to speak your local dialect. Like me now, most times I speak English. I find sometimes when I'm conversing to my mom, I'll be speaking English to her unknowingly. When I not remember myself, I'll be like, would you are talking to your mother? I'll come down to Igbo. So she'll be speaking Igbo, I'll be speaking English. So that's one thing I really don't like about English. If you let yourself to speak English so much, you start struggling so hard to even converse in your local dialect. So I don't know. I don't think it should be even worth talking about, right? If you come to a country and you don't like the way they speak, leave. Nobody is begging you to come to a country and dominate, right? Let people do them. Let us normalizing people doing them. You wouldn't play your role and play my role. You cannot beat me and tell me how to cry. Let us normalize. Let them do you and do me. If you think this person loves to converse in Twi language, anytime you want to buy something, and you can go ahead and speak English to the person because you don't understand Twi language. And then if the person kept on speaking Twi, get an interpreter. Sometimes when we go to markets and these businesses are owned by old people, sometimes they get their children to interpret because they can't even converse in English. They can get their neighbors to interpret. That's how we shop, especially in places that does not belong to the Igbos. If you are from Igbo, if that makes sense, because we know that Nigeria is highly populated. Like I said before, I would want the comment section to be very interactive. Do you think Ghanaians should work more on reducing the rate at which they speak Twi language to foreigners? Considering the fact that these guys do not understand Twi language. Or do you think it's a thing of mind? Do your language speak? You guys will get used to it. You adjust with time. If you think I speak Twi too much, maybe with time, you're going to adjust and probably start seeing the reasons why I speak my language. I don't even know what to start this, but I'm going to rest it here. Thank you guys so much for watching up until now. Let me know what you think in the comments. If this is your first time coming across my face, my name is Ujuya. Welcome to Uncut with Uju. Don't make your last subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.